All right, here we go. This is video for August. Some games I got in the last few weeks. Um, in the last video I made, I don't know if I specified this very well, but I sold some games and I made a decent amount of money. So I've been just buying a lot. Um, since this is summertime, I have a lot more free time, and so just bidding a lot on eBay and finding stuff here or there. But up first, I got Dead Rising 3 for Xbox One. I paid $9.99 on Best Buy. So that was pre-owned, but luckily, it didn't come in like a sketchy case or anything like that. I've had that happen um, with games I've bought from Best Buy in the years past, but it doesn't seem like they're doing that too much with the newer games now. Um, Far Cry 4. I just got this not long ago. I think I paid. I got this was brand new, and it was like maybe $11. Um, it was like nobody bid on it, and I just bid on it within like an hour left. And I think this also what was good about this is it was a stock photo, and it didn't have a picture of the actual game. So whenever it says brand new, but there's a stock photo, that's usually a good way to bid on things. Because if it's brand new, it's got to be brand new. So I don't care if it's a picture or not. A lot of times that might scare people away, but as long as it's brand new, yeah, it's worth the gamble. If it says like acceptable and you don't see a picture, well, then that's a good sign to stay away. But yeah, I played this the last few days, and it's fun, but it just is like very dissatisfying when these open world games try to have all these different like side quests gimmicks to make you play the game longer. And it's easy to like really pick up on that, and it's frustrating to play a game like that. Like parts of a game that you're doing like monotonous tasks just because the game makes you do that to make you play it longer, like so that they can get you to play it for 50 to 60 hours versus just playing like the core game that might last 15 and it would have been a great experience. It's just so frustrating that game companies try to make that like a common theme to just get so many hours out of their game. Um, Dragon Age Inquisition. I have yet to play this. I got this for really cheap. I think it was like going for $7 or $8, and nobody else bid on it. And it's just like the base model game, not like the Game of the Year edition or anything like that. But yeah, for like $7 or $8 on eBay, um, I thought that was a pretty decent deal. I hope to eventually play it, but um, don't know. I have so many other games to play right now. I found this at a thrift store, and this is like one of the very few Wii games that I never got to get, and I just missed out on getting it when it was more common to see these. Um, and I paid for a thrift store. I thought this was kind of high. It was $4.99, and it's not a main retail thrift store. It's just um, like a charitable thrift store. I don't know. I can't remember if it's affiliated with like a church or something like that, but still, $4.99 for Wii games, I think, is just a little high. But anyway, I went ahead and got it anyway. $4.99 for Punch Out. I got this about a month ago, but it just was like one of the first games I got since my last video, and it is called Red Star. on PlayStation 2. It is a twin stick shooter, kind of like a beat 'em up too. It's um it's a weird style game. I played like the first 3 levels of it, and it's definitely unique. It was a game that came out like very late in the PlayStation 2's lifespan, and you know I'm satisfied with getting it. I thought it was going to be a little bit better. I think the problem with it is the only thing that I can think as a gripe is that for it being like a brawler slash twin stick shooter, it's a little bit on the slower side. And with that type of genre, I think the best type of those types of games are like a little bit faster. Like your character can move a little bit faster. It's kind of a little bit tankier, and it's kind of frustrating, but it's all right though. Yeah, I think I paid about $12 for that. All right, here's the next game. This was a big one that I wanted to get, and I bought this game a year ago, and I was real excited about getting it, but it ended up having a disc read error, and so I took it back to the store I bought it for, and luckily I got my money back. But I went ahead and bid on this again since I had a decent amount of money in my PayPal account. I got this for $55, and I ended up getting stuck on this one boss that I think I was kind of stuck at last year before the disc read error. So I didn't really get to play it a whole lot, but I am pretty satisfied with getting it. I still think $55 is pretty steep for an old RPG, but besides this and Fire Emblem, these are the two kind of crowning jewels of the GameCube as far as RPGs. So it's good to finally have it, and it's in pretty decent shape. Um, and 55 was kind of on the lower end. I was kind of keeping track of the price fluctuation of it, and a lot of them were selling for like 60, even up into the 70 range. I don't really know how I was able to get 55. I was just bidding on so many copies of this and just somehow got lucky getting this. The next three are reproduction cartridges. So I bought some more, and I'm pretty happy with what I got. It's kind of hard to tell, in my opinion. I think they're pretty good quality. Um, I got this from AliExpress, and it cost. I was not really sure what I was gonna get because it cost literally under $10 to get get one of just. Well, both these games were $10 a piece. I think it was like nine something, like 986 or something like that. And these games come from China. Um, this does not have a save feature, which I think is the safest way to go about buying these repro cards. Um, I bought a copy of Terra Enigma that was a repro card, and since that's a save battery game, it was very sketchy with the save battery and didn't work very well. But if you buy games that don't have a battery, I think you're that's the safest route to go. Like this has a password system, and I mean it worked flawlessly. Like it's not like I had to get it to finagle it to work. I mean I just put it right into my normal Super Nintendo, and it just booted up right away and started playing. And if you're looking for a copy of this, I mean I would never pay 100 and some dollars for the regular version of this. And I mean, I paid nine something on AliExpress, and it looks fine to me and plays great. So I'm really satisfied with getting them that way. It doesn't bother me whether it's a made in China brand new game or if it's some used copy of it that I found for $3. It's a matter of the price that really bothers me, that these games can go up to that high and people are paying for it. Um, Then I also got Sunset Riders, which is another cool game that I can't remember what how high up how expensive this game is getting, but yeah, again, this is another repro cart. I don't know how hard it is to tell. This isn't a flaw. I don't think it's just a piece of something on there. But one thing I do notice the difference between this is that does have the Konami name on it, but this leaves it off. Um, Besides that, I mean, it's hard to. You'd have to really look at like an original copy of this to really see the differences. But the third game I got, I was really interested in getting this because I have tried to play this on emulators, but it's always been in Japanese, and so I have no idea what thing's going on. But this is a really cool action RPG on the Super Nintendo called Alcahest, and I got this off of Etsy. Um, Etsy, an Etsy shop where I paid 25. Um, and what I'm noticing is that a lot of these Etsy repro shops, they're still getting their games from China. If you look close enough, like you'll see like where they're located at, and they're more than likely shops that they're selling games on AliExpress as well. I mean, that would be my bet because they look very similar. The only thing that I can tell a difference is that like the quality of like screws are a little bit different. Like that's like more of like a plastic, and that's more of like a steel or brass screw. Um, I mean, like the label's really good, and it still it resembles a cheap kind of quality repro. Like it has like that feel to it. So it's not like the real um, Super Nintendo type cartridges that you would expect to get um, when they originally came out in like the 90s. But it's still all three of them I'm really satisfied with, and I do plan to get more of them. Ones that like I just am not gonna pay $100 for. Like King of Dragons is a game that I really would like to get. Knights of the Round, Ninja Warriors. Those are some other games that I'm like looking forward to getting, probably as repros, and I have no problem with them being reproduction. All right, let's keep it moving. I got some PlayStation 3 games. Trails of Cold Steel. This was a game that I've been interested in for about 6 months. Um, I still I've been playing this throughout the week, and it's kind of like I never played Persona, but I know that Persona is a game that is about like kids in school, and that's kind of like what this game is. You're at like an elite military school, but it's like definitely like anime. That's all it really is, and it also kind of reminds me of Valkyria Chronicles. I think that's yeah, Valkyria Chronicles. That was one of the very first PlayStation 3 RPGs that like really stood out. It's kind of got that like cheesy, campy, like the dialogue is just like these kids that like they've had the wool over their heads their entire life, and like they all talk prim and proper, and like nobody can do anything wrong. It's the only thing that kind of bothers me about this game. But besides that, like if you want like a good, decent RPG experience, it's pretty good. Um, I know it's based off of the a series that started out on the PSP. Um, but I don't think with what I've read or what I've played, you don't really need to play that game to really transition over to this. And I know there's already a second Trails of Cold Steel that's out on PlayStation 3. And I've read something about how they're already in the process of making the third one already. They're really pumping these things out. But I think the third one's going to be on PlayStation 4. But I would assume if I was going to actually play this all the way through, this is going to take tons of hours. But it's if you do get this game, just be wary of the dialogue. There's tons of speaking, and it's like almost to the point some scenes I just like am pressing the X button just to keep it moving because I don't care what some of the characters have to say. Another PlayStation 3 game I got was the Sly Collection. Oh yeah, by the way, I paid 21 for this. It was brand new. I got it from a wholesaler on eBay, where the store said about how they just buy stuff in bulk and they just try to sell it for whatever they can get it for. So I was able to somehow get it for 21. I think on Amazon it was like around 28, but 21 was a pretty decent price. Um, the Sly Collection I got for I think around like 10 or 11 on eBay, and I only really started playing Sly Cooper, Thievius Raccoonus. But I kind of wish I would have started Sly 2 because I never played Sly 2. I played a little bit of Sly 3 before, but what I plan to do is get rid of my PlayStation 2 copies of these three because it's a lot better to save space with one game versus having all three, and it does look better. They're nicer HD graphics. All right, so the last games, PlayStation 4 games. Um, this is an interesting puzzle game, very similar to Portal for sure. It's called the Talos Principle. This was on my radar. I was interested in this when I first heard about a year ago. I think it came out last fall, and I saw on a forum that I pay attention to called Cheap Ass Gamer. There was a thread where people were talking about how this game is the listing price. I think at Walmart is $29.99, but then if you get it price checked, it rings up as $15. So I went to Walmart, I got it out of the case. I asked the guy if he could check the price. It rang up as 15, and I said, "All right, I'll buy it." And so $15 for this. It's got the weirdest cover art besides um, I can't think of what that shooter is on Super Nintendo with the guy on the banjo. Um, but this definitely is like a weird cover art. I haven't gotten to the point where this would be explained in the game, but if you like puzzle games and like trying to get through different challenges to get to like the next stage, this is definitely an interesting game. There's so many similarities to Portal to this, so I would still say that I like Portal better. But if you are into that series, this is a good game um, to pick up for sure. I'm fine with paying $15. I think I got to the point where I'm like almost stumped, and I'm in like the fifth world, and so with the experience I've gotten, I'm pretty satisfied. Um, Dragon Quest Heroes. I just got this game yesterday, and I played it last night. I probably will play it after I'm done this video, but this gets a lot of comparisons to what is it called? Not Dragon Warrior. I can't think of what the series for some reason. Dynasty Warriors. That's what it is. Um, it gets a lot of comparison to Dynasty Warriors, but I mean, I could see that because it's just like repetitive, like killing of waves of enemies. But there. This is an RPG, and there's a leveling system, and there's definitely like an action RPG. Um, I've also read too that it's supposed to have like tower defense type gameplay, but I haven't gotten far enough into it to really know about that. But I also have Hyrule Warriors, and for some weird reason, like I love Zelda, but like I couldn't get into that game all that well. But like this game's interesting. I do want to keep playing this, and I think I paid about, I want to say $14 for this. Yeah, 14. Um, I saw a Newegg. It's brand new for $15. If anybody has any interest in that. Last game I got, which is like one of my favorite games that I've played so far this summer, besides Uncharted 4, is this little gem. This is called Alien Nation. This, if you've never heard or seen of this, it's a physical release that came out in, I can't remember if this is the Korean copy or just the Asian Chinese copy. I'm not, I can't remember, but it does come as an English version, Chinese and English version, and it's a game that we did not get in the West. So don't be intimidated by the language barrier, because when you turn it on, it's all in English, and it is a twin stick shooter, very fast paced, very similar to a game like Diablo. And when I was watching videos before I decided to buy it, a lot of people were saying, making comparisons to Destiny, which I played Destiny before, and I can understand a little bit. It's basically where they make the comparison to Destiny is like you constantly are like leveling up and killing lots of waves of enemies, and um, having certain missions where you keep going back into the same area to do things and do different things in that area. Um, but I don't know. I see it more being like Helldivers and Diablo. But when I tried playing Helldivers on PlayStation 4, I just felt like that game was hard to get into because it was very unforgiving. But this game is just more fun than Helldivers, I think, because it's easier to get into it. There's certain mechanics that allow you to kind of get out of situations that, like when you get overwhelmed, there's certain things that, like, it's kind of like playing chess, where like if the enemy characters try to make one move on you, you can kind of counter that and get out of scenarios. And it takes a lot of skill to get good at this game, but that's what I like about it. And if you're looking for a twin stick shooter and it's very addicting, I definitely would recommend this game. But yeah, it's really unique, and it's a shame that we didn't get a physical copy of it. But get it while you can. I paid 27 for this, and I would assume this would probably eventually go up rather than down, just because I can't imagine there being like that many copies of it. Um, that happened with a few PlayStation 3 games that I got that were physical release Asian copies, that get them while you can, and then the prices just start going up. Um, but yeah, that's what I got for August. I don't think I'm gonna get any massive amount of more games. Um, so probably won't make another video till September, unless I decide to make a video about games I've beaten, which I might do that. But yeah, sorry this lasted so long. Let me know what games you're playing if you want. Thanks. Check you later.